What's happening, guys? It's your buddy Griz, and welcome back for another episode of Kid Up. This is, of course, my weekly Battlefield series where you guys get to suggest weapons and loadouts for me to use, and then I'll give you my humble thoughts on how it performs. Just to get the formalities out of the way, if you have a suggestion for a kit you'd like to see me use, leave it down in the comments below, and also make sure you're giving thumbs up to any other suggestions you like down there, as I usually pick the highest voted comment, if there is one. So last week I asked for a shotgun setup, and Fabian Stahlberg delivered with this Recon class loadout. So I'm using the DBV-12 shotgun, semi-automatic with buckshot rounds, full choke on the barrel, a Cobra sight, vertical grip because I didn't have the ergo, and I also slapped the tri-beam laser sight on there just to help me out a little bit in the hipfire department. My secondary is the M1911 with a suppressor because I didn't have the flash hider, laser sight, and a ghost ring. C4 and motion sensors for my gadgets, the scout knife, and the RGO impact grenades. And just to let you guys know, I was using the Shadow field upgrade. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I don't know a whole lot about how exactly the different shells work on a really granular basis. For example, how much damage per pellet with the buckshot as opposed to the dart shells, or the cone radius of each different shell. And by the looks of it on Simthic.com, there are still a lot of variables about the shotguns in Battlefield 4 that even they are still trying to figure out. So for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to focus too much on the differences between the shells statistically. I'm just going to give you basic stats of the DBV-12 and talk about how the buckshot shells felt to me. So let's go ahead and look at the stats for the DBV-12. It's a semi-automatic shotgun, and with buckshot shells, it does a maximum damage of 18 and a minimum damage of 6. It has a max ammo capacity of 11, and it fires at a rate of 200 rounds per minute. Reload times are 3.4 seconds when empty, and 2.2 seconds with a round still in the chamber. So let's start with some of the best things about the DBV-12, because I personally really like this shotgun. Shotguns are, by nature, a close quarters weapon, and when you're in a heated battle with numerous enemies everywhere around corners, reload times are crucial. The DBV-12 has the advantage of using a magazine instead of having to pump each shell in individually like some of the other semi-automatic shotguns like the M1014. So when you reload, you have one set amount of time it takes to change the mag, and you have your max ammo capacity when it's done. End of story. With shotguns like the M1014, it takes much longer to reach max capacity due to the fact that your character has to actually put 7 or 8 shells in before it reaches max capacity again. One good thing about the M1014's reload, though, is that you can cancel it at any time, as long as you have at least 1 shell in there. So if you're in mid-reload and a guy runs up on you, you can still cancel the reload by shooting at him. Still, there is something comforting about knowing exactly how long it's going to take you to reload and get your full capacity. Continuing on with some more positives, rate of fire on the DBV-12 is respectable at 200 rounds per minute. This is basically on par with all the other semi-automatic shotguns, and honestly, it feels right. Not too fast, not too slow. You hear a lot of people saying that shotguns are OP, especially the semi-automatic shotguns, but here's the thing. They're only good for one situation, and that is close quarters battles with multiple enemies. If you're playing Conquests on Operation Locker or Metro, I get it. Sometimes it can be a little cheese mode. But really, when you think about it, who's smarter? The guy who uses the SAR-21 on lockers, or the guy who uses the Sega? Statistically speaking, the shotgunner is making the better decision because the map sort of dictates the playstyle and what kind of engagements you're going to be getting into the most. Obviously, I'm talking about inside the lockers and not outside because, yes, there the DBV user will get melted by the SAR-21 user for sure. So I personally think the shotguns are fair and relatively balanced. Sure, it always pisses me off when I get one shot in close by a guy using a semi-auto, but hey, he's just playing to the strengths of his chosen weapon, which is something I learned a lot about while playing with the DBV-12. Now let's talk about these attachments. The Cobra sight is an excellent choice for the optic. I love the T-shaped reticle this sight offers for the shotguns because it almost seems to give you a little map to your pellet spread right there in front of you. If you focus on the horizontal line and just envision a small oval area around that horizontal line, you basically got your target area. When enemies are shooting at you from behind cover or head glitching a ledge, line that horizontal line up with the ledge and put his head right in the middle there, and you'll pretty much blow his face off, provided you are close enough. This worked especially well for me thanks to the full choke attachment. This attachment tightens the spread of buckshot and flechette rounds significantly more than the modified choke, making your blasts much more accurate and essentially getting you more damage per shot and more one-shot kills in close. The catch here though is that in order to experience the effect of the full choke, you have to be aiming down sights. Running with the full choke equipped reduces your hipfire accuracy and stability, so it adds more recoil and you're not as effective from the hip. Being able to rely on hipfire with a shotgun is why a lot of people use them in the first place. But I'm going to go ahead and give the full choke on the DBV-12 2 thumbs up, because as long as you slow it down just a little bit, take that time to ADS, the results are wonderful. There aren't too many weapons in Battlefield 4 that allow you to deal with 3 or 4 guys all at the same time, but this setup is absolutely a candidate for that short list. The vertical and ergo grip help out with strafe shooting and peeking corners, as they give you a little boost in accuracy for shooting on the move. But if you ask me, I would have put the stubby on there and go with the laser sight and recoup some of that hipfire accuracy loss, because like I said, in close, a lot of enemies around, you're gonna need a hipfire at some point. Seems like I got a lot to say about the DBV-12. What are we, like almost 7 minutes in? I better get to the rest of the kit. I didn't really use the M1911 a whole lot, but I've talked about it enough already in previous episodes that we'll just skip over that and go to the gadgets. The motion sensor balls I used a ton, and they are so helpful for a shotgun in recon, it's unbelievable. Not only are they helpful to you, but they're helpful for your teammates around you as well. Knowing where the enemies are on the minimap is invaluable information, and if you've got teammates backing you up, those little Doritos won't be around for too long. Sometimes you can even use these two in tandem to get yourself out of a sticky situation. Say you're taking cover around a corner and you toss one of these Pokeballs out, revealing that you're about to get rushed by 3 guys. What are you gonna do? Well, they seem pretty hungry, so whip out your C4 sandwiches and give those boys something to eat. Seriously though, if you manage to toss one around the corner before they make their move, toasted. So that's gonna do it for Kit Up this week. To sum things up, I thought the DBV-12 was a pretty beastly shotgun, and it is excellent at what it does, which is dominate in close quarters. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did and you'd like to show it some love on the way out, you can do so by clicking the like button down below. And as always, if you're new around here, I invite you to become my guy, buddy, friend, fella, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget your suggestions for next week, and I will be back with more later this week. Game 7 tonight. Carry's gonna be amazing. Bruins are toast. Toodles!